They're bitches.
I literally clicked it as you said that.
I was waiting to hear it.
All right, welcome back to the Slapsticks podcast presented by Forever Talking. I'm here with the most casual hockey fan ever, Nick Walk.
Damn
Um,
right.
my name's John Dolan. We are both co-hosts on this ridiculous project. But as Nick writes down all the Western Conference teams, so he knows what the fuck we're talking about.
I got stage fright. I can't remember that well.
Yeah,
I ain't lying.
we'll get right into this. I want to start by saying rest in peace, Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. Um, the hockey world greatly misses them, and
That's crazy.
hopefully the Blue Jackets can come out on the other side, rally around the tragedy, and we'll
What
see how
happened to
this
the guy?
season goes for them.
What happened to the guy
Uh,
who did it?
he is currently sitting in jail waiting for his trial. Yeah, the dude's facing like 25 years, which is not nearly enough. But we'll see. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about our Western Conference standings predictions for the 24-25 NHL season. Next week we will do the Eastern Conference, so probably get more views on that because no one cares about the West. But
And if I say something stupid, it's because I got this thing so tied up here I can't think.
that's okay. I'm dressed like a fucking zebra, so we'll just make it work. We
It's all for
will
you.
we'll start in the Pacific. I'm going to save the Central for the
Oh,
end so we can finish on the Blues. So Nick
I,
Walk.
I was writing the Central down first for some dumb reason.
There you're good. Do you need a list of the teams? I can give them to you.
No,
We'll
I
make,
want to see if I.
we'll make
You
Ian
go.
do some work and cut the video. I'm fine with that.
No, we don't need to do work. These are more for clips, to be honest.
All right. Starting in the Pacific, we're going to go bottom to top. I'm actually going to pull up last year's standings.
Bet the Sharks were first.
First? Yeah, first pick.
They got
First
that
pick.
Patrick. His name's Patrick, right? Celebrini?
Patrick. Macklin is his name. Macklin Celebrini. Kind of a sick name.
Oh, it is. It is the fact that I remember it.
Yeah, I just hope hopefully he can put some weight on this summer so he doesn't end up like Tua. All
Oh yeah,
right.
bro.
So no, what were you gonna say? We're just looking for clips here.
You brought up Tua. I don't know if you've seen the foam stuff. Like NFL, like there's one player on the Steelers who has a foam over his helmet. Why the hell does Tua
Yeah,
not
yeah.
have that? Why does
I
Tua
don't
not have
know.
that? He's like the number one guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I saw some guy on what was it, the Seahawks or something was wearing one of those, some cornerback. I think the defenders should all wear them, dude. The way they just tackle with their head.
The one I know is Pittsburgh.
Um, all right, well, starting in the Pacific, like I said, we're gonna go bottom to top, 8-1. Last year, the last place team in the Pacific was the San Jose Sharks. They finished with a record of 19-54-9, well deserving of the first overall pick, which they got and took Macklin Celebrini, a no-brainer selection. I'm gonna go out on a limb for this year and put the Flames in the 8th spot.
You just helped me.
Was that one you were missing?
Yeah, I have them all now.
Yeah, so Flames jumping up to them in the standings from last year. They finished 5th at 38, 39, and 5. I think this year they lost some big pieces. They didn't add much. Couple of guys from Florida who just won the Stanley Cup and Ryan Lomberg. But I think while they're looking to take a step forward, I think they're going to let this season play out, and I think that's going to work poorly in a kind of stacked Pacific Division this year. So I have them finishing 8th. How about you, Nick Walk?
Well, see, I have no idea.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
just know
Hey,
I know who I'd put number one.
okay, we'll get to that. Well, here, how do we? Maybe we should do it. Maybe we should do it not 8-1. We should just do it by team.
Just say who
So
you think make the playoffs.
that's a fun way of doing it too. Actually, here, yeah. Let me draw.
Because eight make
right
it,
here.
eight make it right, but like five
Yep.
can make it from one or four. Like
Yep, I just drew my lines.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
pick mine.
and you can choose whatever you want. Obviously, it's your prediction. I do have 5 from the Central making it.
All right. You can go.
All right. So yeah, Flames obviously not above the playoff line in my prediction. I think 8th is lower than most people would put them, but either way, I don't think too many people outside of Flames fans themselves would pick them to make the playoffs this year. In the 7th spot, that's where I put San Jose. I don't think they're going to get a whole lot better. I just think the Flames got a whole lot worse. So them and San Jose, or them and Calgary kind of switched spots there. Hopefully San Jose, obviously, with the addition of Celebrini, they signed Tyler Toffoli in free agency. I think they can have a better year. They've started to surround some of this young talent with some veterans, and hopefully, like I said, not a huge jump is expected, but if they can pass the 20-25 win mark instead of the 19 they had last year in 82 games, which is horrible, by the way. Losing 63 games is not fun. But yeah, I think they can make the jump to 7th and obviously below the playoff line, but take a step in the right direction, if you will. I think that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, it always takes a few years.
Yeah. Number 6 then, also below the playoff line, but getting better. I have the Anaheim Ducks.
Ooh, I'm doing good. If we're like on track, like the 3 teams I didn't pick make it.
Yeah. For me, the Ducks, obviously, they've kind of been in this rebuild for a few years now. I think they fully committed to it in the last year or two. I think they'll get better. It sounds silly because it's not hockey related at all, but the uniform change, which is fantastic, I think, sometimes look good, feel good, play good. They might get a benefit from that. And I think some of the questions this year surrounding trades between like John Gibson, Trevor Zegras, these guys are playing for new jobs potentially. So I think that'll benefit the team in the long run, and more specifically, it'll benefit them this year. So hopefully some production from Anaheim. Nick and I both have them below the playoff line.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen their new jerseys, y'all should go look it up because they're sick. I'm sure Nick hasn't seen them, but I'm going to send him a picture after this.
Don't do it now because you'll break the phone.
Yeah, 100%. All right, number 5 in the Pacific, also below the playoff line, I predict that the Seattle Kraken will finish right around there. Kraken kind of stagnant, obviously, in year 2. They knocked off the defending Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche in the playoffs, which was a huge feat for that franchise. This past year, not so great. About 500, finished 34, 35, and 13. So kind of subpar season, but I think they can get a little better. Just like I said previously, that division's pretty stacked, so I don't think they have what it takes to finish above the playoff line, but they've surprised us before, so who knows? We don't mind the Kraken around here, so it'd be cool to see them get in. But yeah, I don't think they will this year. Got them finishing 5th. Moving up next, also finishing below the playoff line, as I mentioned to Nick previously, I have only 3 teams in the Pacific making it. I have the Los Angeles Kings. I think the Kings are, a lot of people call them a dark horse. I think they're the opposite. I think they're overrated. They currently have 2 career backup goalies as a 1A, 1B kind of starter situation. A lot of young talent in LA, a lot of veteran talent as well. They're kind of missing that in-between kind of role player-esque line. And again, not a bad team. I just think in the Pacific, I don't see them making the playoff line. I have them finishing 4th. They also, another team that got kind of a rebrand, new jerseys this year. They look really nice. I hope they don't benefit from that because I don't like the Kings. Next, in the 3rd spot and finishing above the playoff line, I have the Vegas Golden Knights. They made some additions this summer, as they do every summer and every
They
trade
they
deadline.
still cheating.
Oh yeah, yes they are. But I think they'll have a good year. Maybe not as good as last year. They finished 45, 29, and 8. I do still think they're a playoff team. They have been. I mean, this is going into year 8 here. They've only missed one time. Um, I think, in my eyes, they're better than the Kings. I think their rosters are very similar. I like Vegas's goaltending, and I like what they've done in past years. So for that reason, I have them third above the playoff line. Moving into the second spot in the Pacific, I have the Vancouver Canucks. Obviously finished first last year, 50, 23, and 9. A very good season for them.
They got a guy named Bass, right?
Besser. Fuck Besser.
Besser, yeah.
Besser, yeah.
I remember.
Solid.
I remember he was really good.
Yeah, he had a great year last year too. I think the Canucks benefited from some trade deadline moves. Obviously, Elias Lindholm came in last year. He's now left the team. Didn't have a great start, but he was very helpful for them in the playoffs, especially in that series against the Nashville Predators. I think for me, the only reason I have the Canucks in second is because it's hard to not put the Oilers in first, coming off a Stanley Cup final loss in which they were down 3 games and forced a game 7. Did not make it easy on themselves and obviously did not win the cup, but that's my 2-1, Canucks Oilers. I just don't see anyone finishing above McDavid, Draisaitl, and the Oilers, who have also made a lot of kind of sneaky additions. You had Jeff Skinner, you had Victor Arvidsson, you lose Warren Fogle. I think Evander Kane going on LTIR. I think that's going to help them this year. They might be able to add.
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
You said Evander Kane did some.
Yeah, he's nothing Evander Kane like. He's just injured right now, so he's going to miss. I think they said the first month or 2 of the season.
Oh.
But they have the depth to fill his spot, and I think that'll benefit them in the long run. So Oilers in first.
All these hockey players sitting out. You gotta get more like these NBA players. You gotta get them in the game.
Yeah, definitely. How many games did Ben Simmons play last year? 6?
I have no idea.
All right, so that wraps up.
He still half-asses it. So
that wraps up the Pacific. Again, I mentioned I have only 3 teams in the Pacific making the playoffs. 5 from the Central. Those 3 teams I have in the Pacific, I'll mention again, are the Edmonton Oilers, Vancouver Canucks, and Vegas Golden Knights. We will now move on to the Central. Nick Walk, who do you have in the 8th spot?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna be real honest. I don't know that much, but I'm gonna go with the Utah Hockey Club because that's just such a terrible name.
Okay, basing it off the name, I agree.
They were also terrible like last.
I have them finishing higher, but not a bad. I think some people. I don't think most people would have them that low, but there's going to be a few that pick them to finish last just because of the move they've made. I have the Chicago Blackhawks finishing last. Not because this is a Blues podcast, but because
that is exactly why. Because I have them at 1, so we're disagreeing there. They have. What's his name? Connor. What's his name? Connor
Bedard. He's pretty good.
Yeah, best player in the Central Division.
Anyways, I have the Chicago Blackhawks finishing last in the Central. A bad year last year. They finished bottom 3 in the league, 23, 53, and 6. Only 4 more wins than the Sharks. They were obviously a lot more entertaining, though, with the media and the hype surrounding Connor Bedard. I do think they take a step forward this year. However, I just think that other teams in the Central are still miles ahead of where they are, and for that reason, I have them finishing 8th. 7th spot, I have the Minnesota Wild. They're trying to move out of the kind of cap stranglehold that they currently have on themselves in the Suter and Parise buyouts. This is the final year that they'll be affected by that, so hopefully at the deadline or next offseason they're able to add some depth. But Marc-Andre Fleury's final year, supposedly, I think they could be a fun team to watch, but I just don't see them finishing much better than 7th place.
All right. Let me guess your 6. Let me guess your 6.
Okay.
Let's see. I feel like no, I don't think you'd put them that low. Rick. I probably shouldn't. Jets.
You're close. I have
Blues.
them 5th. I do.
Blues.
I have the Blues finishing 6th, just below the playoff line in the Central. That would be worse than last year. I just think the Blues are kind of in not a rebuild. They've called it a retool. But
so
I
they're
think
in the go nowhere build.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we've drafted some good young players, a few of which should make the team this year. I think that the goaltending's in a good spot. Obviously, Torrey Krug's going to miss the entire season this year. The offer sheet to the Edmonton Oilers for Broberg and Holloway, I think it benefits the team on the back end with Broberg. We'll see what Holloway is able to do. He's probably a third-line player.
Did they just get him?
Yep. They just got both those guys.
Was he on the? What team was he on? Panthers, Oilers.
Oilers. Yeah.
I remember. I just remember because I remember that name because the UFC name too.
Yep. He's a Blue now, which should be fun to see.
I like that guy. I might get a jersey.
Yeah. Well, the day I see Nick wear a Blues jersey,
I would wear a Blues jersey if it had Holloway on it.
Okay.
I'm not a hater anymore. I don't hate teams anymore.
That's fair. We might have to get you one for the podcast. I just think it'd be cool. Okay. So yeah, I have the Blues in 6th. Again, I don't think they're gonna have that bad of a year. I just think there are 5 teams that are better than them in the Central this year. So for that reason, I have them missing the playoffs again, probably only by a few points. For those who don't know, the Blues were the best team to miss the playoffs last year, which is never a title you want to have, but they had it. So, it's okay. Anyways, moving on to the 5th spot. Nick was close in guessing the Jets. I have placed them here. That is above the playoff line for my prediction. I think the Jets have kind of stood pat for a few years. Obviously, they haven't signed Cole Perfetti yet. He's still a restricted free agent. Should get done before the season starts. I think the goaltending's solid. You've got now 2-time Vezina winner Connor Hellebuyck. I know there are some questions regarding Mark Scheifele and Nikolai Ehlers' future in Winnipeg, but that can get solved later in the season, if not in the offseason next year. And I just think the Jets are a well-rounded team, not top in the Central, but I do see them as a playoff team this year in that 5th spot. Moving up to 4th, I have put the Utah Hockey Club. I think, obviously, last year they were the Arizona Coyotes. Same roster, same everything, just new location, new name. The Coyotes finished 36-41-5 last year, which, while that sounds terrible, I attribute a lot of that to the kind of noise and stipulations surrounding them with the uncertainty of the future in Arizona, which we now have the answers to a lot of those questions. So I think that distraction being gone, they can kind of hunker down and get to work. They have a good roster. They've made some additions this year in acquiring Mikhail Sergachev from the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's huge for them. And yeah, we'll see what they can do. I'm excited to see them. Jerseys look good. The fans are excited. Utah Jazz got to share their arena, so that's fun. Yeah, we'll see how they do. But I have them in 4th, and I would love to see them make the playoffs. I think that'd be huge for that fan base in the long run. So Utah.
What color are their jerseys?
They are black, and they're black, baby blue, and white, and they just say Utah on the front because they don't have a logo. I'll send you a picture after. They're pretty nice.
They're plain.
They are. I think that was their intention, though. The white one looks really good, though. I won't lie. I think they're sick.
I kind of, dude, baby blue, dude. Sometimes that can look really good.
It's just an accent color too. So like you should see if you can find a picture real
I'm,
quick.
I'm gonna see if YouTube has it, but that's kind of all. Utah. Fuck, the H was right there, man.
Yeah, they're nice looking though.
Oh, I kind of see them.
Yeah, very generic, but they look clean.
Yeah, they kind of look like the Panthers in football, just no
Mhm.
gray.
Yeah, similar color scheme. And I don't know if you can see the white one or the black there, but the white one looks really nice.
It's like cartoon, but I can kind of tell what it would look
Yeah.
like.
Okay, moving on. I have so from fourth to third, I have placed the Nashville Predators. Obviously, some huge additions this year. They get Steven Stamkos from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Um,
Ooh, I wonder how Teddy thinks. He's probably crying.
oh, he's pissed.
But he likes Nashville, right?
Yeah, yeah,
He
those
likes
are
the,
his.
he likes
I think
their
those
like
are his
sound thing, right?
two favorites besides the Blues are Tampa and Nashville. So, but they get Steven Stamkos. They get Jonathan Marchessault from the Vegas Golden Knights. Huge free agency signing as Barry Trotz really commits to going for it. And they also signed Brady Shea from the Carolina Hurricanes. And obviously not as big of a name as the others, but I think some depth on the back end is what they've really been lacking in the past few years. I know I have them finishing third, which is only a spot above where they finished last year, but if they can get good goaltending from UC Saros and their top six forwards can produce, I think this team can do some real damage. And it's not so much for me about what they do in the regular season, it's what they do in the playoffs. And I think, which I hate to admit because I can't stand Nashville, but I think they could be a real predator, if you will, in the playoffs. Um, and who knows? They should be a fun team to watch this year. Hopefully, they don't kick the Blues' ass too bad, but I wouldn't be surprised.
They still got Brian Russ or whatever his name was.
No,
Oh well,
they
I
don't
was
need
like,
him.
oh yeah, I guess not.
All right, moving up to the second spot, I have the Colorado Avalanche. Obviously, just a superstar packed team. The possibility that Landeskog comes back this year, which he hasn't played in 2 years, so there's a lot of doubters on that front. But he could come back. Even if he doesn't, they still have McCarr, they still have McKinnon and Rantanen. This
Is
team's picked
Rantanen? Is he the
a
guy
few
who got
free
like
agents.
what?
Oh, I was just saying they've picked up a few free agents. Yeah, they have Rantanen, 50 goal scorer, two-time 50 goal
Who's the guy
scorer
who got
now.
suspended? Was that on their team? Like in the playoffs?
Oh, Kadri did, but he's in Calgary now. He ain't doing.
He's useless.
Yeah.
That was a good play.
Yeah, so I think Colorado, they're kind of just expected to finish in the top three in the Central. And I think they will. They finished third last year, 50-win season. They're a star-studded team. If they can get good goaltending, I think they can also go a long way in the playoffs. Similar to Nashville, it's not so much about what they do in the regular season. They're playing for March and April because they know they'll be there. So, and then finally to round out the Central and the Western Conference predictions, I have the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, Jamie Benn.
Yeah, he's not a big part of why I have them first, but he is still there. He is still their captain. For those who don't know, I can't stand Jamie Benn. Fuck that guy. Anyways, Dallas, great goaltending, star-studded decor, solid depth down the middle on all four forward lines. I think there are also another team playing for April, and kind of a heartbreaking loss to the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs last year. But I think they are going to use that to their favor, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Western Conference final. Well, it wasn't the Western Conference final, but yeah, it was. Yeah, Stars and Oilers. I would not be surprised to see both those teams in the Western Conference final again this year. We look forward to an exciting season. 17 days away from the start of it now. And yeah, that's going to be all for today, folks. We will have the Eastern Conference next week. Ian, if you made it this far and you're not satisfied, I'm not filming it again. So,
Well, it didn't lag this time. Wait. What was your
that's
opinion on
good.
the sphere when it was like in the sphere?
Oh, it was actually really cool. I think they did a great job. I remember I was talking about that in the other one.
Yeah, our demo. Yeah, we talked about that one.
Yeah, it was very cool. A bit different. Again, I stand by my original opinion that I prefer they do it in an NHL arena just because it gives a city other
Yeah,
than Vegas a chance to host it. But that's the last live host they're ever gonna do. They're moving to like COVID type just online draft, which I think is stupid.
yeah. I
Um,
feel like getting drafted is one of the best parts.
yeah, and yeah, it went
Oh,
well though.
like,
It was fun.
hey, at least they switched the hats. You remember the NBA draft where they
Dude,
leave?
so someone okay, if anyone actually watches this garbage and also watches basketball, please tell me why they don't just grab the hat for the team that owns the draft pick, not the team whose draft pick it was originally, the team that owns it.
Or if they trade them.
Right, makes no fucking sense. Listen, hockey, 7 rounds. Everyone gets one pick in each round unless you trade for it. If you have made trades and have 15 picks in that draft, you're bringing 15 jerseys. You're not going to bring your own 7 and then 7 whatever different jerseys from different teams. Don't understand.
I just remember that was one of the funniest things.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
He also just hearing the announcers, I feel bad for them that they have to explain that. I can't even think of an example from this year, but oh, this guy was drafted by this team. We don't know why he's wearing a Wizards hat, but yeah. So hey, kid, this franchise that you're never gonna play for, all your draft day photos are tainted by a fucking picture of you wearing their hat. So stupid.
I think it was a year ago that one that we were in the group chat.
So dumb. So fucking dumb. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode. Next week we will be back with the Eastern Conference final predictions. I think I'm gonna wear the ref uniform again. That'll be the last time I ever wear it because I look like a tool. So thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I got nothing else. Ian, if you made it this far again, I'm gonna send you a picture of a turd in the Dropbox files, so it's not gonna be mine, I promise. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I don't know why I said you guys. I'm gonna be the only viewer on this, so yeah, you
You're
guys
gonna
have
rewatch
fun.
it?
Bye.